All right, we're about ready to roll here. Hello, welcome to the Rough Report. I am Jimmy Ruffian, joined once again by Jessica and Nat. We are broadcasting live from Ottawa, but of course Jessica's over there in good old Steel Town. We're gonna do. Oh no! I was trying to turn the theme song off, but my finger slipped and weird things happened. I'm technologically apt. I swear to God.
Nat, you look so good.
Yes, she's got her hair cut because she donated her hair.
I'm still in the process of figuring out where the fuck to donate my hair.
Yeah,
I even
it's
asked
currently sitting in a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked at my oncology appointment and no one knew. So I'm like, if these fucking people don't know, how am I supposed to know?
Right. I thought they were like up on that. Yeah. All right. So if any of our, I guess, Ottawa area or Ontario-based watchers know a good place to donate hair for cancer patients, we're all ears. Yeah, because for those of you who may not know, Nat recently, just in this past month, was diagnosed and treated for, got surgery for breast cancer.
Yep.
And thank goodness it was a very good response time. And, from diagnosis to surgery, what was it, like 2 weeks?
From my initial mammogram and ultrasound to surgery was a month and a half. So like from that, it was from mammogram, ultrasound turned into a biopsy, turned into results from biopsy, turned into surgery. So bing, bang, boom, boom.
Yeah. Pretty swift response time. Thank you, socialized medicine here in Canada for
Wait, what?
facilitating
You
that.
didn't have you just sit in a hallway for 3 years waiting for your specialist appointment?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We turned into bones and cobwebs. Because that's what the American propaganda will tell you. That's what socialized medicine is, right? I mean, there's problems with our socialized medicine only insofar as when we vote for some right-wing schmuck that comes in and cuts all the funding and makes it dysfunctional on purpose and then turns around and goes, oh, gee golly, look how bad that socialized medicine is. Yeah. You did that.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah, you're purposefully continuing to make it worse. So like, this is you, my guy. This is you.
Yeah, this is like why like I hate when people like talk about regulation so much, like capitalists that are just like, you just need to regulate it, and I'm like, those can be reversed. You understand that, right?
And
like,
they are being reversed en masse, which is why the Americans are shitting themselves to death from eating salad right now.
Oh
and
my
why
gosh.
they have to worry about screwworm infections in their cows. Like
in the States right now, it's hundreds of products.
Oh, you just looked your robot, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica's tripping out. Oh wait. Okay, she'll be back.
Yeah, she was so upset she imploded.
Yeah, she broke the internet. It's so funny because like, especially amongst us more lefty-minded people, even just liberals, I've seen share and enjoy accurately the whole meme behind like what happens when you get rid of regulations. Here, like what is it? What is the one I'm thinking of? Okay.
Because companies don't adhere to regulations of the goodness of their hearts. They do it because they're made to, whether by laws or sometimes social pressure, but more often not laws.
I can't find the meme right now, but it was basically like, was it Ayn Rand, Rand Paul, and some other libertarian schmuck all walk into a bar and then they die from tainted alcohol due to lack of due to lack of regulations. And it's like, you're literally seeing this take action now. You're seeing the libertarian anti-government mindset manifest in real time with scores of Americans shitting themselves because of lettuce. And it goes to show, like, when you have functional government systems that actually are working for a benefit of the people, they do so usually so quietly and so efficiently, you start to take for granted the fact that it's even happening.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then you go, what are we paying all this for? Why? Oh, look at all these government agencies. Oh, big government costs all this money and it's ruining our lives. Snip, snip, snip. Let's cut the hell out of that government. And then people start getting sick because the food isn't regulated.
Yeah. So, like, one thing that shits me to fucking death, every pun intended, is that people in Ontario will say, oh, well, I can never vote NDP again because Ray Days. Why the fuck aren't you saying I can't vote conservative anymore when Walkerton? Ray Days was like inconvenient.
Yeah, we had a full-on, like, tainted water crisis here in Ontario that killed people under the Mike Harris government.
Yeah. And not to speak of the Mike Harris killing people in a less public way with privatized long-term care homes, old age homes. And so, hi. We're just talking about how Mike Harris got people killed.
Oh, yeah.
Like how lack of government regulation, you start taking the old pair of scissors to that big, scary government, and then suddenly people start getting sick and dying. It's kind of funny how that works out.
We're never electing a conservative government in Ontario again, right? Because of, like, Ford?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Better, because Jesus Christ, he has shown, as awful as Mike Harris was, and as awful as the repercussions of his tenure continue to ripple through the entirety of Ontario and the country, Ford has basically said, hold my beer. And made it all fucking worse. So much fucking worse. Like those privatized long-term care homes, that's where during 2020, a lot of elderly folks were left to fucking die.
Yeah.
Because the workers couldn't get the equipment because the owners didn't want to pay for it. And so the workers, to save their own lives, just fucking because they got sick and couldn't get replaced.
You might remember that in the time I got the good old conservative government Dougie Ford hallway healthcare. I believe this was 2019, like before the pandemic.
Yeah,
I got.
Might have been 2018, but it was.
Might have been 2018, but it was around that time. I got a bout of food poisoning. And it was really, really nasty. I was just blasting fluid out of both ends of my body.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible time. If anybody's had food poisoning, you know what it is, what it's like. And so I got very sick very quickly. It lasted about 13 hours, and then I was just fine after that. Because that's how food poisoning goes. But I was so deathly sick when I got to the hospital. They gave me attention very quickly, but they did not have enough rooms to accommodate somebody who was as sick as I was. So here I was, vomiting and shitting in my hospital bed in the hallway.
It was very dignified.
Yeah. Very dignified. Like again, everybody who was on staff was, doing the best they could. They were very attentive. All the power and kudos to those hospital workers for doing the best they could. But, obviously a failing if somebody is so sick that they're blasting bacterial riddled fluids out of their body in a non-private room. That's a failing.
Literally, I used to clean for St. Joe's here in the tower, and if there is fecal matter, vomit, or urine or blood anywhere in the vicinity, that room is now labeled like a biohazard, and you have to wrap up a little bit more. And so it's like, that's crazy for me to hear that like happened, you know? That's a biohazard.
Oh, he was a big biohazard.
I was one big biohazard that day. And what was so funny, I still remember this because a bit of a side point, but Nat just looking at me like I was crazy. I woke up from my morphine-induced sleep. They basically gave me a little bit of morphine because my stomach and head was hurting so badly that they're like, okay, you've been up all night. Like, I got sick at like 1 a.m. and went to the hospital, and so I had been there for like 13 hours, and so I had just like woken up because they put me to sleep by giving me a mild dose of morphine to relieve my pain. And as soon as my pain was relieved, I went right the F to sleep and woke up, walked out of the hospital, and Nat's like, all right, you want to go relax at home? I was like, I could really use a coffee. And she looked at me like I was fucking crazy. You're like, you just spend all night like shitting your guts out. And the first thing you think of is coffee? And I was like, yeah.
Food poisoning be like that.
I got that coffee and it was great.
This is a Toronto hospital, by the way. What happened?
This was in Toronto.
We were in downtown Toronto at the time.
So that was it's a balanced thing. It's like, I'm so thankful for the socialized medicine and the fact that did not cost me a fortune, that trip to the hospital, but also very purposeful budget cuts by a conservative right-wing government that obviously does not care that socialized medicine works and can work. I was relegated to this subpar level of service as a result of that. This is not inherent to socialized medicine. Socialized anything really only works insofar as you want it to. If you don't want it to work, it will certainly be bad, and you will see the results of that.
And you can't have a two-tiered system. Like, you can't have socialized healthcare plus private healthcare. Like, that doesn't work. Like, it has to be social or bust.
I mean, it works great for the people who can afford the plus.
Well, the socialism for the rich, they
Well, and then they use that, like the fallout of that is it becomes sort of like antisocial in the sense of like, I am trying to alienate the greater part of society for my benefit. Because the mentality starts to become, well, I take my kids to private school. I take my family to private medicine. Why am I paying taxes to the system that I don't use? And it's like, I'm sorry, that is fundamentally antisocial.
It's class consciousness on their end. Like they want all their money to go to the private schools and not the poor schools.
And that's why this sort of like socialist and pro social as in not antisocial mindset is so important, right? Like because if it works for the poor people, it will work for everybody. And if it works for everybody, then it is a good, functional, cost-effective, efficient system. And like one of the best ways I kind of saw it put in a real world example is like I remember somebody asking Sam Cedar, this was years ago, like what a random call-in viewer on their show at the Majority Report. And the person was basically asking, well, like, why should, like, say in a school where you have a free lunch program, why should all the students get a free lunch and not just the poor ones? Like, isn't it inefficient to give the rich kids the free lunch alongside the poor kids? And as Sam put it, he's like, I don't think you understand the social implications there. What it's like for the poor kid being the only one to get the free lunch. The class divide that and a social attitude that creates towards that child is classist and vicious and bullyish, and it has actual social fallout when you treat people differently based on their economic class. So yes, like even though we have different classes in our society, they should all have access to the same social benefits regardless of that economic class.
I hate how not even children, like they're literally like children shouldn't get food or health care or anything like that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and that also ignores all of the practical day-to-day stuff of, like, for one, if you want to have a system where, why am I bothering? Whatever. If you want to have a system where only some kids get free lunch, then you're adding in already overhead of administration of who gets free lunch. So you're already making it inefficient by having overhead of administration to make sure that the wrong kid doesn't get free lunch. But also, like, putting it in.
You're putting up red tape in a system. Like, you're creating inefficiency. And then looking at it and going, oh, it's inefficient. It's like, well, yeah, you did that. If we just gave it to everybody, it's super efficient. Yeah,
exactly. Just like if we, instead of having these tiers of ODSP and WSIB and Ontario Works, etc., if we had universal basic income, then gosh, we could get rid of a lot of the overhead because we understand that people have a baseline of need and we're going to make sure those needs are met.
Okay, you guys want to hear something? Sorry, this is speaking of inefficiency. So we just got off the OAP, Ontario Autism Program waitlist. So I have a caseworker and stuff like that. Guess what? This goes through a separate portal called Access OAP, which is the in-between people between the OAP and you.
And what is the proposed purpose of that?
They're the ones that look over you and then take your stuff or your whatever to the OAP.
So it's just a middleman.
It's just a middleman.
For what reason? Yeah, like is this middle portal government owned or is it private? Like what is it?
It's not like it's let me see if it does it is a .ca.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not a .gov, it's not a dot.
It's private.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So that's an example of purposefully tainting a good, efficient socialist system by we have to introduce a little bit of the private sector into it.
Yeah, we need to make sure someone can extract wealth from this.
Yeah.
And put us on the wait list for 4 years and you get no back pay.
Yeah, we need to make sure that not only are we extracting wealth to go upwards with this, we're also making sure that the workers who administer this are paid worse.
Yeah, because they're all working for private companies.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
privatization never helps, never makes anything better. Literally, the purpose of privatization is to make everyone's standard of living worse and extract wealth upwards. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyone who says otherwise, I fucking dare you to give me 5 examples.
They're getting paid by someone.
If you have one example, it's a fucking fluke.
And kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about so far, one of the main things I wanted to bring up in regards to Canadian politics is the prevalence. We are not unique from the United States in this sense. The prevalence that we give to lobbyists and giving corporations and their lobbied interests way too much weight in our political decisions. And this is a prime example of it. This is a post from the Ontario NDP talking about Doug Ford. And of course, Doug Ford called it social. Oh, damn it.
Oh, did it?
I didn't have the screen up.
We're like, we believe you.
I was about to throw it to the graphic. I had a whole thing going there.
It's okay. You were doing an awesome live over on TikTok, and I feel like that just like frazzled, that scrambled everything.
I got the adrenaline going. You know, I'm gonna start talking like Alex Jones, and
or
so
Tim
here we
Heidecker.
go.
Oh, Tim Heidecker's
Tim Heidecker's take on Alex Jones. Yeah, brilliant. I can't say enough good things about what the Onion is doing with InfoWars. Go and follow them. They're wonderful. Yeah. But anyway, Doug Ford called it socialism to ban grocery giants from spying on you. The next day, he met privately with the Loblaw CEO.
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
the blatant corruption in this. It's like, oh, it's socialism if we can't price gouge you, to have any sort of consumer protection to make sure you're paying a fair price for your food is socialism. Excuse me while I go and have a private meeting with the guy who's gonna with this CEO who's gonna stuff my pockets with money to do everything he wants me to do. Like
but I thought socialism was when they spy on you. Like,
exactly. No. See, if they're spying on you to extract more money out of you, then it's capitalism and it's good. You see, that's the crux of it here.
But if they spy on you to see if you're trying to price gouge someone, then that's socialism and that's bad. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Just one thing here. If Doug Ford ever has the bad luck of meeting me in public when I have a water gun filled with piss, honey, and glitter, he's having a bad day.
Like it's just so, like, you know, when I was on my TikTok
get
live,
Jimmy food poisoning, and then we'll just get
vomit. I'll blast them. How do
you like your whole way?
I'll just get you to I'll just get you to chug like a gallon of cream, and then especially if it's hot.
I'll make my own yogurt internally. Like you know, when I was talking on the TikTok live earlier, and a big thing we end up talking about a lot when we're encountered with liberals and right wingers and things like that is them just having this very loose to poor idea of what socialism is. Here's a prime example of why you have the leader of a province calling stuff socialism that's totally freaking not. Just stuff that's generally good for people and is not necessarily by definition a socialistic policy or idea. Just basically saying, no, we shouldn't spy on people for the pure purpose of ripping them off. That's socialism. Like, of course, a huge amount of our populace has a really confused, stupid idea about what socialism is, because this guy is calling stuff socialism that is insanely just not. And
but also in the vein of every accusation is a confession, if you'll notice that a lot of the Nazis will say on, say, Facebook threads or something that leftists, anything they don't like is fascism, because that's from their playbook, that anything that they don't like is socialism or communism.
And
so
it's like
every
my favorite is you fascist communists.
It's like
you know immediately that they're just like confused as hell.
I'm just okay, I can't talk to you. I'm being ableist. I can't.
I actually literally had that earlier. I literally got that comment where they literally said word for word, you're a communist, and that means you're a fascist, and that means you're a Nazi. They're like word for word, beat for beat what you just said. I got that comment earlier today. I was trying to find it in my notifications again there, but I couldn't.
It's like, absolutely, there are some idiots, but those idiots are also informed by purposeful muddying of waters so that people don't understand these terms appropriately. And so this is,
they don't want you to actually understand what socialism is, because most of the time when it's laid out bare in front of you and you're a working class person with, you know, like not some billionaire CEO, you 9 times out of 10 will listen to that and go, well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
We literally
but then if you name it, then they're like,
his name is Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we have evidence of this. As long as you don't call it socialism or whatever, they're like, this guy is the Messiah, you know? But it's like the minute you're like, no, I want that like now times, they're like,
Yeah. Like most of the like socialists and communists that I know, even if they're like of the anti-religious quality, they will speak highly of Jesus as a character, being like, no, they're like, that guy's got the right ideas about a lot of things. We should actually listen to that.
Yeah, he like flipped over tables and beat people with whips because they're,
because they were doing business in the house of God.
Yeah,
he was pro-sex work, which oddly a lot of communists aren't. They can get weird about that. There's that faction of communists that define sex work
or like radical feminism too. Like
where they're like, okay, if all labor is exploitative, then sex work is exploitative, and exploitation when sexuality is involved is rape. That's the line of logic.
Yeah,
and I vehemently disagree.
Yeah, well, it's also when they misuse these terms, but they also try to take everything outside the context of economic reality. Of like, I acknowledge that some sex workers don't want to be in it, but given economic pressure and their ability to make money, sometimes it's
how other people have jobs they don't want to have, like that. Realistically,
well,
that's
not just that, but like when we talk about sex work of selling bodies, but we don't include construction work or like very physically laborious jobs,
any labor job,
your
you're
body.
selling your
that ruin your back, that ruin your shoulders, that ruin your
that can cripple you. That if you don't have OSHA paying attention and like you don't have the your bosses properly training and you don't have any protections, then you can be completely disabled or killed on the job site. Thus, we need regulations. Companies don't
That's why I believe in free range porn. Just pay your friends for nudes.
Honestly, I'm a big fan.
We are communists in communist not love.
When it comes to when it comes to OnlyFans, most of like any historically OnlyFans subscription I have had is to people that I know. And they're promoting their OnlyFans on their social media, going, "Hey, folks, sign up." I'll buy that. Like, you are somebody I know personally, or somebody who is like in my community, and you're out there advertising it, telling us to sign up. Hell yeah, I'm going to support you, just like I would buying a local musician's record or something like that. And most of the time, even though like the nature of work under capitalism is fundamentally coercive, what I find funny and sort of ironically anti-feminist when it comes to the radlib perspective on this, or the radfem perspective on this, is that why does it seem completely foreign to you that a lot of people, for that matter, who do sex work enjoy their work? They can absolutely enjoy what they're doing. Like, it's so funny to me because, like, from this feminist perspective, yes, like, women enjoy sex. Women should embrace their sexuality and own it in all the same ways the patriarchy does, and from the male perspective and things like that. But the second a woman's out there enjoying their sex work job and being sex forward and sex positive, suddenly they want to shift that conversation to no, you're being exploited.
It's because rad feminism is like is too male centered still.
It is. It is.
And very prescriptive and very confined in a box, which is why a lot of them are TERFs, because like they're like, this is my small understanding of life and the functions, and therefore anything outside.
I'm only a woman because I have a working uterus. Okay.
And then the weird, so women who don't have a functioning uterus or womb are not women now, or like,
so I guess now I need to use the men's room because I had a hysterectomy.
God forbid you're just born without one.
Or you're just like, whether you're a queer or not, if you are very masculine presenting, because that's just who you are as a person, then it's funny because I know some rad femmes who are themselves a very mask presenting, and it's like within your faction you've got people who would like stop you from trying to use a bathroom. You realize that? Like these people are, you may be aligning yourselves with them, but they're not your friends. They will turn on you.
The most female thing about me is not my children. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, when I'm with them, I look a little masked because I don't have time to like get myself ready. You can't wear heels and chase kids. Like, you can't do none of that stuff. Are you kidding?
Yeah. You're wearing like sneakers and cargo shorts, and,
track pants. You know, my hair is in a messy ponytail. Like,
Oh, geez.
Yeah. No. Once you start going through medical procedures too, of that attack and remove every part that people traditionally associate with femininity, even if you've already rejected society's ideals of femininity, it's fucked up. Like it's a real mind fuck. Like I already didn't associate my womb with womanhood. Now it's gone, so I can't. I already didn't associate my boobs with womanhood, and now one is scarred up and smaller, and they're no longer symmetrical, and so I can't just share nudes the way I used to because I've got this weird
You're doing like forced perspective.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of like.
It's all about the angle.
Like Gandalf and the Hobbits. Yeah. The artists. That's why we gotta communicate, right? Yeah. I see what you're putting down. Anyway, like it really forces you to like, even when you think that you've shuffled off all of these, the societal baggage of the binaries of what things can and should and need to be, when you personally go through it, it's fucked up. It's like it's so ingrained, it's so insidious, it's so everywhere. You don't even fucking realize it. Until you start getting lopping things off. It's holy shit.
So yeah, and to the point that I was just making with Doug Ford there, because he again to emphasize to the working class right wingers and left wingers and liberals and centrists and all that alike. Again, I want to hammer home. This guy wants companies to be able to spy on you.
Yeah.
So when you walk into a grocery store, you are paying the maximum amount possible for the thing you intend to buy.
Yeah.
For the sake of companies being able to extract maximum profits.
Yeah. Which includes
I don't know to who of you out there
that
sounds good. Yeah. And if putting regulation on that is socialism, then folks, you should freaking love socialism.
Yeah.
Stop with your hangups here, because this guy hates you. He is against you. He wants to take as much money from you as possible. The only reason he would ever dream of cutting your taxes is so you can pay more of your money to his friends via these price gouging schemes. So no, he does not care about you or your wallet whatsoever.
There's not even a bottom. Of the lack of care. He doesn't care if you live or die.
Yeah,
like
he wants Galen Weston to be able to grab you by your ankles and shake you upside down to get the change
Galen
that
Weston
falls
is
out
on
of your
site.
pocket.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. By the way, CEO of Loblaw is Galen Weston, just in case people weren't connecting the name.
And in case you're from Muskoka, both of these guys have cottages up there. So maybe.
Yeah,
maybe keep an eye out.
So this smug motherfucker is trying to sell you the idea that you should pay more for groceries because they got to spy on you. Like, in what world does that sound like a good plan to you, folks? I don't care what end of the political spectrum you're on. How does that sound remotely sane to you? These people fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And to that end, CARNEY also hates you. The CARNEY government met with fossil fuel lobbyists more than 1,300 times in the past year, according to a new report from Environmental Defense, who also says the Natural Resource Minister, Tim Hodgson, has refused requests to meet with environmental experts. So he will not meet with environmental scientists, but they have met 1,300 times with people who represent the interests of the fossil fuel industry.
Yeah. And yeah, so they it's so funny because like we know
Tim Hodgson.
No, he was talking about Loblaws, Galen Weston.
Yeah.
He's not the CEO anymore, but he does own a controllable number of shares. I think the Weston family company does of Loblaws, so he might not be the CEO anymore, but he still has a controllable amount of shares. So either way, he's making money off of it. I'm still gonna punch him in the face.
And he still has a cottage in Muskoka.
Yeah. All facts.
1,300 in a year. Like when you think 1,300 in a year, there's 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
He's meeting with them 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah. Like, do you have time for anything else?
Jesus Christ.
And the ridiculous thing is that it's the year of our Lord 2026. We have seen so many examples in the past, I'm going to say decade, of countries that are divesting from fossil fuels and going into renewable energies, and they're making it work, and they're doing great. And so this fucking guy comes in and he's like, you know what, let's not do any of that. Let's just not. Let's not do anything that is fiscally responsible.
Yeah, this is a guy that ran with like an environmental consciousness campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
But also like
and then turned around and did this.
Yeah, and because he's a banker, he poses himself as fiscally responsible. But no, he's a wealth extractor. That's what bankers do. That doesn't make them fiscally responsible. If he was fiscally responsible, then he would do things that save money for the country, and that were an economic boon to the country, not to a couple shareholders, to the country, and that's not what he's doing.
Yeah, a part of like, like why doesn't, like when we talk about fiscal responsibility, it's so funny to me that the part of that conversation is not, we need to buy stuff in order to make the country and society work, and spending our money in effective, smart ways is actually an important factor. Not just not spending money, or giving all the money to the private corporations. Like, why is that falling under the umbrella of fiscal responsibility? Well, I can kind of tell you why. Because the game of economics in the neoliberal capitalist system is not a game that you and I get to play. We're not even considered or benefit from. We are not part of the game, folks. The game is being played on us. We are merely pawns on the board getting shuffled around. It is their game. It is their wealth that they are extracting from us. So when they say the economy is doing good, they're not talking about it's doing good for us. It's doing good for them. And that is an important distinction. And they tell it to your face every single day. And I don't know how this continues to sort of fly over our heads.
But what Dusty is saying, that fiscal responsibility thing is just conservative propaganda intending to make us think that state finance works like a household budget. It's nonsense. But even then, it falls down on a household budget, because what do you mean you want Loblaws to extract maximum wealth so we can't even feed ourselves at home by cooking from scratch? Isn't that the baseline of every financial fiscal responsibility in the household of, make your own meals from home? How they're pricing us out of making our meals from home.
And also, like, I feel like, you could make some apt comparisons to a household budget in terms of how conservatives try and view government spending. I would say it's like, if you want to get rid of, we're going to save money by cutting these important social safety nets. Okay, I'm going to save money on my energy bill by throwing out my refrigerator. Well, now how are you going to, isn't that going to cost you way more money in like food and storage costs?
But I won't have overhead.
I'm saving money on energy. Don't
in
you
the
understand?
long run, when you don't have to deal with it, is also like you just keep passing the ball.
And that's the thing, like, the wages as we currently understand, like in years gone past when, the Red Scare was much more of a thing and they were worried about a working class uprising before, Reaganomics and neoliberalism really kicked into full gear. We had this idea that, being working class meant you could have a pretty decent standard of living. But once that was over and they pulled that rug out from underneath us, as Sean is getting at in the comments here, something about wages tending towards the means of subsistence. And what that means is your wage over, since neoliberalism, since the 1980s, any increases in your wage is not for the benefit of your economic status. It's for the benefit of just meeting a very, very basic need of subsistence to keep you going to work, to keep you at a bare minimum, not to give you a good quality of life, but just enough to make sure you are showing up to your crappy
you
job.
Don't revolt.
Just enough. But the thing is, like, if they tried to pull this level of subsistence wages back then, there would have certainly been an uprising, and they bloody well knew it. So they had to do something to curb that first. Tell us that capitalism and the American way and all this is the way to go, so they could eventually pull that rug and go, all right, we're raising your minimum wage. Look what this wonderful thing we're doing for you is. But it's like, when they raised the minimum wage in Ontario to what, $17 an hour or whatever it is
it's
now.
Still under living.
It's still
like
way under living.
Yeah, it's like over a decade past.
Yeah. So like there is no meaningful increase in wage. It's just to make sure you can keep paying some CEO for your overpriced food and some landlord for your overpriced housing and, so on and so on and so on.
But then go ahead first, Jessica.
Sorry, I was going to say it's based on subsistence, not on actual climbing the economic ladder. So
actually just living your life. No, I was just gonna say, like, and also is like humans have such a short knowledge of history, memory, so I feel like the longer they are able to like keep us from doing anything from way back when, it's like we don't have a 5-day work week anymore. We don't have 40-hour work weeks anymore. We don't have health benefits at our job. We have none of these things.
We don't have pensions.
People used to hang their bosses for less. And it's like, now we just like, well, I guess I gotta get another job. And that's just like normal. And I feel like the longer they're able to like keep us from doing anything, that's like people forget. They just forget.
But it's also so when you're saying that, they're just trying to keep up with the price of subsistence, they're not even doing that, because it's not like they care about extracting the maximum wealth while people are still able to live subsistence. No, they individually, each company wants to extract maximum wealth, which is why we're seeing an increase in homelessness, which is why we're seeing an increase in homeless encampments. But because they propagandize people to think that these are individual issues, then they get to turn on people who are living in encampments, who 10 years ago would have been housed, because there's rent control still that allowed people to continue living in a fucking building, even if it was like rat infested, what have you.
The largest jump in homeless people around here is seniors.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, what is it? Just since the pandemic, like since 2020, homelessness in Ontario has increased by 50%. 50.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's not even subsistence
Jesus
anymore.
Christ. No. Like, that is not an insignificant, like, so, and it drives me mad seeing like, these regular working class people who don't understand what's being done to them under this predatory system going, oh, all these homeless people, the problem is they just won't go out and get a job or whatever. It's like, no, this was done to them. On purpose by a predatory economic system
because
that
a lot of
you don't realize is taking advantage of you too. Like, you're next, buddy.
They just blame immigrants and trans people, and I hate that works. Like, it's so dumb.
It is a dull, stupid trick, and it works on these people for some fucking reason. Like, God, and they pride themselves on not being duped.
Yeah, like the culture wars are absolutely effective, which is why they do it. But the fact that you can still work and they keep changing the goalposts. They're like, you need to work 40 hours a week. Most people working 40 hours a week minimum wage can't afford to live on their own. So like, oh, okay, well, you need to get roommates. Okay, let's say that you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, you're working minimum wage. You're still supposed to live with roommates? That's the like we've lowered the bar of like uh human dignity and what we're allowed to expect to have for ourselves. And because
why don't you just fucking eat gruel, peasants?
Yeah, well, and the response is always
don't
like,
eat breakfast.
Get a better job.
Yeah.
The response to that, like, oh, if you can't make a living on minimum wage, get a better job. Oh, I'll just put on get a job helmet and go down to get a job cannon and shoot myself out of. Like, it is completely obscene that the conversation has turned from minimum wage, meaning it's supposed to be minimum to be able to live a dignified life, is now minimum wage is just something that people need to suffer through, and it doesn't matter if you can't afford to live. You need to get a better job. But also Doug Ford has cut OSAP, which is a loan program, so that people can't even access post-secondary education to get these better jobs.
And anymore. I would like to remind you at this time about this that came out in 2024 in relation to everything we're talking about, especially Doug Ford. Remember, 50% increase since 2020. And we're going to go to an article from 2024 where he introduced stiffer penalties for trespassing and public drug use aimed at ending encampments. So I am going to quite purposefully create more homeless people and then criminalize their existence. Like, this is predatory, fascistic shit, people. And you are still, like, so many people have the audacity to look at these homeless encampments and scoff at them and sneer at them as if that person in that encampment is you. It is you. You're just on a slightly worse day than the one you've been having. And like, you have to understand that, like, that's what the importance of this social empathy is. Because as Sean's saying here, at all levels of government in Canada, whenever one of the impacts of a policy decision is it may increase homelessness, slap that fucking button, man.
Literally.
They will do it every single time. And then trying to find ways to punish you further for their failing.
And especially, so talking of fiscal responsibility, incarcerating people, putting people through the justice system is fucking expensive. So much more expensive.
Keeping people in jail costs a lot of money, folks.
It's like, what, $75,000 a year?
Something like that. When you're talking about, like, guards, the facilities, things like that. It's actually cheaper than that. Just giving them homes.
Well, like, most people don't make $75,000 a year. I'm double checking the number right now. But like, let's say that a home is $15,000, Jesus Christ, $1,500 a month, right? That doesn't even remotely approach $75,000. Let me double check my number. One second.
But we're going back to
Dusty just put half of all Canadian MPs are landlords. This is class dominance that will raise property values at the expense of all else. You know what?
100%.
My NDP
100%.
mayor is a landlord, and now she's claiming, after fighting with her ex because he's been staying in her house that she owns.
Yeah, I saw
she's
this.
now claiming she was in an abusive relationship, except you also made policies that made it harder for people in Hamilton to leave their abusive relationships. So personally, I just don't give a fuck about your abusive relationship.
It's hard to have.
Turn on your goddamn sympathy, Instagram comments.
It's hard to find sympathy.
Turn them on, Andrea. Turn them on, pussy.
Yeah, dare you. Yeah.
Fucking dare you. Turn the Instagram comments back on.
Okay, I was close. One sec.
Oh,
I was close. So going to the John Howard Society, finances. Oh shit, this is old. So actually, I might be even closer than I thought. So from 2018, total spending and comparisons. If you're in federal prison, it's somewhere closer to $115,000 8 years ago. If you're in provincial prison, it's in the area of shit. I just saw it. It's in the area of $67,000. per person.
Per
year.
Per person.
8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
then
like,
on top of that, on top of talking about the increase in the homeless population, the increase in criminalizing the homeless, the increased costs of private prisons, what a web that we've led ourselves into here, into this article from April of just this year. Ford defends jail expansion plan to address overcrowding issues. Documents obtained through a Freedom of Information request unveiled a plan to add 6,000 jail beds by 2050. A lot of this from private prisons, folks. Doug Ford is going to squeeze more money out of the rest of us through his criminalization and expansion of the homeless underclass, and then funnel them into for-profit prisons. There is like peak dystopian, guys. Like, again,
everything
I don't
about
care.
this
Like,
is financially irresponsible.
Even if in your mind you're like a right winger that hates poor people, and you're all about, saving maximum money, and that's the only thing you care about. Even from that perspective, even from that stupid, inhumane perspective, you should be able to look at this and go, well, this is a bad plan. It's a bad plan from every angle you look at it from, except for if you're Doug Ford or a private prison owner. It is so patently insane and inexcusable on its face. I don't know how everybody doesn't want this man's blood. Like, it is crazy, because he certainly wants ours. I think that's pretty apparent.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure he has like a bet going with like some of the other wealthy people.
I mean, like, that's why he extended the date, the legal date for the next provincial election from 4 years to 5, and why he's passed that block on freedom of information, basically so that in the short time that he's got a little bit more time, and he can do all the shit that he needs to, because he knows that he's probably not going to survive the next election in terms of leadership.
Not only will chain gangs return there, Dylan, I would actually have a feeling it will be much worse. If Doug Ford is allowed to continue to behave Doug Fordedly, you will see a uptick in prison labor, American style. It is absolutely going to happen. I have no doubt about it.
Slavery
allowed to continue in this way. So it's not even like maybe chain gangs will return. It's that if Doug Ford is able to continue being Doug Ford in the capacity that he is, that it's not a question of if, it's when. What is it? Ontario's jails are well over capacity, and the overcrowding has been worsening over the years. And basically, Ontario Premier Doug Ford defending his government's plan to build many more jails, saying the billions in cost will be worth it. So not even the cost of just year over year, but it's going to cost billions of dollars just to build more of these prisons. Doug Fordedly, you feel free to use that.
That's a good one. I like
that. And so like, he's going to spend billions to build these facilities, and then fill them with the homeless people that he helped create, and then funnel them more than likely into labor, because why would they not? You're going to have tons of people stuffed into these private prisons that are a drain on the system. And then one day he's going to look like a hero when he goes, we're going to put these people to work. And there's going to be a certain faction of people that will go, yeah, right. Why should they have a free ride? It is sick and inhumane, and I just really struggle to understand how anybody can tolerate it.
And if you do tolerate it, you're a fucking fascist. Fuck you.
This is like fascist.
Wait till the law turns
Why
on
would
you.
I be nice about that when your positions are wholly unhuman?
Yeah.
Like,
your position
inhuman.
is slavery. Like, that's what that is.
You're criminalizing not having money, and using it as a de facto method of reinstating slavery.
So eat shit. Fuck you.
Like, I struggle to even like trying to put my mind in the most fiscally conservative kind of, you know, run of the mill Canadian that would normally vote for Doug Ford, you know, trying to put myself in the mind of that person.
Here, let me do it for you. I hate crazy people. I think that immigrants should go
I don't
say,
understand
"Hey,
how
guys."
this sounds good even to them. Like, I really can't get my head around that.
And half of these people, the only capital in quotations that they own is their house, because
If that,
under capitalism, you know, like how they view private property versus personal property. So they're like, my house is an investment. And it's like, wait till that data center's built first off. But then also it's like, it's like, why are you bootlicking so hard when like this is all you have? It can be so easily taken away.
Yeah, like, you know, the
so
bank
dumb.
makes an error, suddenly you lose your fucking house.
Yeah.
Like, that's how little power that you have.
And
like,
then on top of how all very, very dystopian all of this sounds, I would like to highlight one particular comment in this article, a quote from Mr. Ford that that I think what Dan just said here, the cruelty is the point, not an unfortunate byproduct.
Which is why I'm saying, fuck your face. Not you, Dan. You're great.
And I think
your face for fun, not for
fuck your face. Complimentary.
Not derogatory.
Was it Doug Fordedly slur?
I'll fuck your face, Doug Fordedly.
There you go. Oh, the worst possible way, really. The cruelty is the point, not an unfortunate byproduct. And yes, that perfectly encapsulates this quote that I wanted to highlight from this article, because as Ford says, we aren't building Four Seasons hotels for these people. They're going to jail. And again, I don't care if you stack them 10 high. These are criminals that broke the law and they're going to be held accountable. I don't care if you stack them 10 high. I don't care if they're treated in the most brutal, inhumane conditions as a direct result of the economic policy that I put into play. I can't emphasize it enough. Thank you, Dan. The cruelty is the point. And that's why I say, like, MAGA, far-right politics in general, however, like whatever a name or acronym you want to slap it on, the cruelty is always the point, and it's to make you a person that's suffering under this economic system as well, but maybe you're doing slightly better, so you get to look at those people and go, you know, at least I'm not them, and that makes me feel good. And it's a trick. It's a dirty, awful, inhumane, disgusting trick.
Because you're not on their team.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you little low-level plebes, you might enjoy the cruelty, but it will get turned on you on a dime because they don't care about you. You are not protected. And I think about this especially for like anti-feminist women and like trad wife women and such. They will turn on you on a dime. Like, they don't care about you. You may be benefiting from this system right now personally. That's temporary, right? Because a lot of these trad wives are finding out is once they get into their 40s, etc., even if they are able to reap the benefits that long, they're discarded for a younger model because they don't value you. They don't see you as human. And so especially like these in the US, these, like, for example, Cuban immigrants to America who can see themselves as white and as American, the racists don't see you as one of them, and they will turn on you too. So like you can take this for any subgroup.
You're at best you're like a convenient pawn for that time. Maybe that's not why they're not hurting you right now
today.
But your turn is coming. And
because you don't matter to them. Like, you might be useful for a moment, but as soon as you're not, as soon as you're inconvenient or a threat, you're fucked.
And so I just wanted to respond to Dylan's comment here. In provincial prison, they are there for 2 years or less, are they not? So these are more minor crimes. He's selling it like they're all murderers. Of course he is. That is very much on purpose, because, like, you know, the criminality and the emphasis on this criminality from a conservative perspective is classist at the end of the day. So yeah, of course they want to make it seem like anybody who's just a criminal, no matter what crime they did, whether it's even really a crime or not, or did we just make it one out of a social construct or a badly guided social construct, none of that matters. The point is, you're a criminal and you went to jail, and that means you're scum, and that means you belong to this underclass now. It is all classism at the end of the day.
Especially the way that having a criminal record affects your future employment prospects.
Absolutely.
And so that affects you financially, just in perpetuity. I know, I saw that too.
Unfortunately, that's not new. That's not even a new thing. You see that coming up over and over again. That's a tale as old as time.
Well, you see a lot of alt-right men don't like alt-right women because they're boring or prudes.
Yeah, they're constantly chasing like goth baddies and stuff like that, right?
Like liberal women, they'll lie. They'll literally lie about their political dealings.
They'll yell about the blue hair and septum rings, but those are the exact women they want, and that's probably why they're so angry at them.
But also yell about trans women. Oh, you'll never be real women. Who's in their DMs?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Which is this very weird subset of right-wing religiosity of just hating what turns them on. And wanting
all
to
the anti-gay Republicans that are always on Grindr.
Well, I think that's kind of part of it, because like, they get a little turned on, but they also realize, or like, they feel insecure perhaps, or realize that this woman is not the type of person that would be into them. And thus this woman has a freedom of choice and agency in society. So they see it and they're like, I'm attracted to it and I want it, but I also don't have immediate access to it. Therefore I hate them.
I have to control it.
Yeah, I have to control it. I feel like I could be wrong, but in my kind of speculative analytical mind there, I tend to think that's where some of the anger comes from. Is it got them a little hot and bothered inside, but they also can't immediately have it. And that's the real injustice, isn't it?
Which I don't think that we should confuse this with saying that I know that it's a common talking point that all homophobic men are secretly gay or something like that. I don't think that's the same thing, because like not all racist men are secretly like another race. So I don't think that's a thing. I think it's a matter of like feelings of inferiority, or buying into like this manosphere bullshit of this very particular way to be, and feeling insecure about that, and the way that your partner is supposed to be, and feeling conflicted about feeling attracted to people outside of that sphere, and resenting them for
it's
making
not even necessarily that you're gay. It's just maybe you had a thought or a feeling that is outside of that patriarchal worldview, and you feel insecure about it, and you are reacting to that. So it's not even like necessarily like, oh, I'm secretly gay and I'm hiding from myself, or even anything subconscious on that level. It is just an inherent insecurity.
Like I'm uncomfortable and I'm reacting in a like what's the word I'm thinking of? Anyway, I'm feeling insecure, and so I'm going to attack that which makes me feel
like projecting.
Whatever.
Well, it's like
I mean, it could be. I think that's the definition. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm in perimenopausal as well, so like everything is just a fucking bag of cats.
These days, anytime Nat has any excuse for anything, it's menopause and cancer. And you know what? They're damn good excuses, because
they are.
they're really good.
Milk that shit.
Yeah. Anything that is annoying her, or she did wrong, or anything like that, it's like, oh, it's menopause. And it's like, damn you.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to say otherwise.
Yeah. I'll be like, can you get me a drink from the kitchen? I have cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
What's he gonna say? No.
Exactly.
My feet,
What am I, a psycho?
You're not. If you were part of the manosphere, you would take a video of that and you'd be like, no, and then you'd walk away, and all the bros would be like, whoa.
That's right. I'm the man of this house. I'm the man of this house because she just left and there's nobody else in the house.
I'm alone. And she took the cat.
She took the cats. Yeah. And again, from a manosphere perspective, that's the real problem: is you having agency and choice that can take things away from me, and that's really what the problem is.
Well, it's that whole
Me
thing.
vibing having cats in each arm.
It's that whole thing that wives made it so that even a poor man got a slave. You know what I mean? And now those men are not getting the slaves their grandfathers did, and so now they're upset.
Yeah. Now that women can own property and have
Where's
credit cards
my
and bank accounts in their own
slave?
names.
Yeah. And then they go, oh, it's those liberals that did this to me. And it's like, no, this was done to you by capitalism, classism, imperialism.
And also, like,
you
you're
are
really
just trained not to see it.
you're really off-putting personality, so you're largely doing this to yourself as
Personally,
well.
I
But again,
want to own a person.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even view my children as property. Like I just,
it's crazy what, like,
me.
when you raise a person to be privileged and experience privileged benefits, it's amazing what can be normalized. Everybody likes to think that they're this inherently justice filled person. Like, my inherent sense of humanity and justice is what guides me, and those people were just like born wrong or something. And I've talked about this on the show before, the whole argument of nature versus nurture, and it's like, a lot of the time it is nurture. Like, people don't believe the things that in society that we all agree are wrong things, that didn't come about because of our inherent nature. It came about from nurturing good traits because we just learned things, and
one of the downfalls of social media is that you can grow up in a very closed, nurturing home, but if the manosphere gets to you through social media, it can undo all of that if the parents aren't
and that's
careful.
why, like, especially I think more so in the United States than Canada, but still a thing in Canada too, one of the most liberalizing, or so to speak, or the most kind of leftist experiences a person can have that brings them to be anti-racist, anti-bigoted, understands that people who are from different cultures in different parts of the world or have different skin colors are just people like you and I. One of the most positive experiences in that is going to college. It's not that the liberal professors are infesting your mind. It's that no, you are leaving your hometown and going to a multicultural place and living and having experiences with people you would not normally get to, and that opens up your perspective. That liberalizes you, so to speak, in that very social sense. And that's kind of why there's all this doom and gloom about intellectualism on the right. They don't want you to go to college. They don't want you to go to university, not because they don't want you to get infected by Marxist professors. It's that they know, just through the lived experience of being there and being around different kinds of people, is going to make you reject their ideology. And that's kind of what it boils down to.
I took sociology in university and have plenty of capitalist believing professors. Like, just because they're teaching about a subject does not mean they're like
or like they may be like liberally enlightened in a number of ways, but still at the end of it, they're super capitalist, right? And the important thing, moving to Montreal for university completely changed my life. Montreal is a very, very diverse place. And Sean, you were from out east originally, right? Nova Scotia, I think, is where you're originally from. And Nova Scotia is great. I love Nova Scotia. I loved being in Halifax when I got to play there. I played at a gay club that was the venue I performed my punk rock act at. And if you're from Halifax specifically, okay. So I got to perform there in 2018. I loved it. Very great place, but yeah, not the most culturally diverse. Let's say,
no. But also the thing about going to college is that, or post-secondary education, because in Canada, like in US, they all call it college, but in Canada, it's like college, university, whatever. Just you need to be able to pass to be able to engage critical thinking. And leaders such as Doug Ford don't want you to do that. So that's why he cut OSAP, because go fuck your face. He doesn't want the lower classes getting
learning is
to him.
Antidote to conservatism.
It is. And again, like not even necessarily things you learn in a classroom setting, but just by being around people.
Well, and by being around different people, so you're exposed to different perspectives, so that you actually have to think critically about your beliefs, right? I mean, you don't have to, but you have more opportunity to think that someone has a different perspective. You're like, oh, maybe I haven't heard this perspective before. You could immediately shut it down and be like, they're cuckoo bananas, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or you could be like, maybe, right?
Well, and you have to prove your perspective. You can't just be like, this is my perspective. You have to like come up with evidence for it and like debate it with their perspective, and then really take those ideas or write a paper about it where you have to reference actual references.
I mean, like
Wikipedia or ChatGPT, you know?
Yeah. Within the program, yes, but just socially, not necessarily.
Yeah.
If I'm at a party, then I'm not gonna. If I'm at a kegger,
sorry,
I'm not coming up with
in
like
sociology. We were doing this even at the parties.
I could see that. I
went to college, not university. I believe you.
The thing is, I did not go to college or university, but I do feel very much I had the multicultural benefit just because of like where I went to school in Hamilton. Like half the kids in my class were non-white. And so I just got to experience multiculturalism in that setting, and had the benefit of being around. Like my best friend growing up was, from an Indian family, and like East Indian, that is South Asian, and and so, like a lot of kids in my class were from India, Pakistan, and like the Middle East, and so like that very much instilled a sense of, I don't know, worldliness in terms of how other people live, and understanding that at the end of the day, we're all just human beings that want to make a living and have a family and do all these things. Maybe we do it in ways that look a little bit different from each other, but we all are humans at the end of the day, and that is an important thing to learn. And when you're isolated from certain factions of society and told to hate and other these people, it's very, very easy to believe it. And
people need to lead with curiosity more.
Yeah.
Just lead with curiosity. Like it doesn't always have
as
to be
opposed to
I'm
suspicion.
Right. Exactly. Like it's like, oh, I'm doing something a little bit different. Talk to them about it. Be like, I'm curious. What is this? Like, most people want to talk about what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Not cloak and dagger, largely.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless
like,
oh
my God. It's just
Unless
so
you're the
frustrating.
current Ontario provincial government, in which they've that's very cloak and dagger, and they've removed freedom of information protections. So
yeah, because they're so transparent. Most transparent government we've ever had. That's why we don't need to look up, because they're so transparent about everything.
Can see right through them. Anyways, we should go have dinner.
Yeah, go eat.
We've reached our hour show. Thank you very much to the viewers that chimed in and were part of the chat and watched the show live with us. We love you. If you weren't part of the chat this time, be part next time. We will be back next Thursday with another live episode, and
hopefully next week it's boring, that nothing's happened and everything's fixed.
We'll find something fun to talk about. There's actually a few laugh worthy things I have in the barrel that I'd love to bring up on our next episode.
Did you see Tim Pool on Jubilee?
Yes, that was one of them. I was thinking of doing that this week, but I wanted to pack this week with more Canadian stuff. So
also watch him on Steven Crowder the next day to talk about the Jubilee.
Oh God, yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll dive into some crazy right-wing bullshit to laugh at next week on the Rough Report. So until then, stay rough.